Viewers, the US-Israel war on Iran has triggered turbulence in the Indian Ocean. An American submarine torpedoed and sank the Iranian ship off the southern coast of Sri Lanka, killing over 85 people. This was the first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo by the US since World War II. The incident occurred and the warship was in fact returning from joint naval exercises in India. A day later, several questions are being raised about the stability in the Indian subcontinent and the wider South Asian waters. But before I get into the blame game and how does this escalation can possibly impact India, experts are suggesting India cannot be faulted for what happened. Ultimately, one has to remember that though the strike on Iris Dana was in Indian strategic waters, it wasn't in its jurisdiction but in international waters. Let me take you through the key factors as to why India can't really, be accused of this, why India can't really get involved in this particular aspect. Factor number one, this incident actually took place near Sri Lanka's exclusive economic zone. And then India has jurisdiction over a limited area as far as the Indian Ocean is concerned. When we talk about Iris Dana, it sunk outside India's exclusive economic zone. And this is an important factor. And EEZ extends about 370 kilometers from the Indian coastline. Experts are suggesting that India, with these factors at play, cannot be at fault. It can't really be held responsible. However, what can be argued is the fact that the United States of America ignored India's sensitivities as the Iranian ship was in these waters because of New Delhi's invitation to the naval drills. Experts argue that as per protocol for this exercise, ships cannot carry any ammunition, and Iris Dana was defenseless, and India's responsibility is only at a moral and human ground. On the other hand, the torpedo strike prompted questions also from former US officials about whether Washington's war aims of destroying all Iran's military were legal under the international law. Let's take you through some of the burning questions that arise. Is US turning a blind eye to India's sensitivities? Question number two, are all of Iran's military a threat to Donald Trump, the US president? And then, is Trump abiding by US Constitution or actually violating it? Question number four, could US use LEMOA to drag India also into this particular war? Question number five, was Iranian warship posing any threat to Washington? Why was it targeted? And are Washington and Israel's actions legal, whatever they are doing with Iran right now, and the kind of impact it's having on the Middle East and also eventually will have on the entire world? We have some breaking inputs coming in, viewers, at this point in time. After Iranian ship was targeted by the US, Iranian minister has condemned the attack. Iranian minister, in fact, has warned of retaliation. Iran's cannot go with impunity is the message that we have got at this point in time. In fact, this is an important update that we are getting for you. We're talking about a reaction that has come from Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and President of the Institute for Political and International Studies, Iran, on the sinking of Iranian warship. This is a very sad, very unfortunate incident, is what he said. The vessel was by invitation of our Indian friends attending an international exercise. It was ceremonial, it was unloaded, it was unarmed, and what happened was unfortunate. And let me also welcome our guests who are joining us on the broadcast at this point in time. We have with us retired Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, who's a defense expert, joining us live from the studios here, and retired Captain Akhilesh Saxena, also a defense expert, joining me live from the Noida studios. Good morning. Thank you very much, both of you gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us here. Now, Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, to you first. I tried to explain to our viewers what exactly happened and why India really, can't be blamed for what happened. But eventually, when you see the facts here, then one cannot also ignore the fact that this particular warship had come on the invitation of New Delhi. And you just saw the reaction we are now getting from Iran. What do you make of it, and how will you like to respond?
See, very sad. very unfortunate. Firstly, because it's an unarmed ship. But having said that, it's a war. No one knew that the fleet review would take place at a time when there would be war. And since the Americans have decided to sink the Iranian Navy, irrespective of where it is, whether it be in the Strait of Hormuz or anywhere else, so I think probably the Americans are doing it that way. But definitely, morally wrong because it's an unarmed ship. But legally, it's in international waters. It's nothing, they did not approach us for help. The help that they sought was from the Sri Lankan Navy. So they approached Sri Lanka, primarily because obviously it was only 40 nautical miles off their coast, and therefore the Sri Lankans came forward and helped them. But had there been a help sought from us, we probably could have helped them, but there was nothing of that kind that took place. And therefore, to say that India needs to be blamed would be wrong. India has nothing to do since it's in international waters. And obviously, at this point of time, to be saying anything more would be wrong. But yes, a sad, very unfortunate, and that one didn't know that such a situation would come up when the fleet review was taking place.
Right. Stay on with us, gentlemen. More breaking inputs coming in at this point in time. A big statement has been made by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. He has said maritime domain has changed dramatically. He has said that seas are not just trade routes. Ocean is now a zone of strategic dominance. Listen into this first reaction that we have got from Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh.
बदलती ग्लोबल जियोपॉलिटिक्स के इस दौर में ओशंस एक बार फिर विश्व की पावर बैलेंस के सेंटर में आ गए हैं। ऐसे समय में एक मेजर मैरीटाइम नेशन के रूप में भारत का यह दायित्व है कि वह कॉन्फिडेंस, कैपेबिलिटी और क्लियर विजन के साथ लीडरशिप प्रदान करे। आज हम सब एक बड़े परिवर्तन के दौर से गुजर रहे हैं। ग्लोबल लेवल पर तेजी से नई परिस्थितियां दिखाई दे रही हैं। सप्लाई चेन रीअलाइन हो रहे हैं। एनर्जी पाथवेज को लेकर नए इक्वेशंस भी बन रहे हैं और मैरीटाइम डोमेन में गतिविधियां लगातार तेजी से बढ़ रही हैं। पहले समुद्र को केवल ट्रेड का माध्यम माना जाता था, लेकिन आज हम स्पष्ट रूप से देख रहे हैं कि समुद्र स्ट्रेटेजिक डोमिनेंस का भी केंद्र बनता जा रहा है। दुनिया बदल रही है और पुराने नोशंस टूट रहे हैं और यह बात हम पिछले कई वर्षों से लगातार देख रहे हैं। जो अलग अलग फ्लैश पॉइंट्स और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स दुनिया में दिखाई दे रहे हैं, वे ऊपर से भले ही आपस में जुड़े हुए नजर आते हों, हर ज्योग्राफिकल और रीजनल स्थिति की अपनी अलग अलग बैकग्राउंड और अपनी अलग अलग कहानी है। फिर भी अगर गौर से देखें तो एक कॉमन बात हमको दिखाई देती है। आज ग्लोबल लेवल पर हमेशा कुछ नया हो रहा है, एक परिवर्तन चल रहा है। पुराने विचार, पुराने ग्लोबल ऑर्डर, पुरानी बिलीफ्स तेजी से बदल रही हैं और यही वह अनसर्टेनिटीज हैं जिन्हें हमें समझना होगा। और अभी चल रही मिडिल ईस्ट की स्थिति इसका मैं मानता हूं कि एक ज्वलंत उदाहरण है। आज जो वहां हो रहा है वह बहुत ही असामान्य है। आगे चलकर मिडिल ईस्ट में या हमारे पड़ोस में परिस्थितियां किस दिशा में जाएंगी, इस पर अभी कोई कॉन्क्रीट प्रेडिक्शन करना कठिन है। यदि हम स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मुज या पूरे पर्शियन गल्फ क्षेत्र को देखें तो यह विश्व की एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी का एक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण क्षेत्र है। जब इस क्षेत्र में डिस्टर्बेंस या डिसरप्शन होता है तो उसका सीधा असर ऑयल और गैस की सप्लाई पर पड़ता है। यही नहीं, आज हम सप्लाई चेन डिसरप्शन केवल ऊर्जा क्षेत्र में ही नहीं बल्कि अन्य क्षेत्रों में भी देख रहे हैं। इन अनसर्टेनिटीज का सीधा प्रभाव इकोनॉमी और ग्लोबल ट्रेड पर पड़ता है। साथियों, वर्तमान में सिचुएशन काफी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो गई है। एवं ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि आगे जाकर ये और डायनेमिक ही होती जाएगी। और आज जिस तरह अलग अलग देश लैंड पर, एयर में, सी में,
I think the priority
All right, so that was a reaction we got from Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Captain Akhilesh Saxena, an important point there being made by Mr. Rajnath Singh. Oceans now becoming zones of strategic dominance. A lot really has changed. What do you make of what he said?
Yeah. So if you really see, first of all, this incident is very, very sad and unfortunate, as Sir has also mentioned, because both morally and ethically this was a wrong thing. It was a ship which was going from an exercise, it was not loaded, attacking on that ship. But if I see from the other perspective, there is a full war. And as they say, everything is fair in love and war, right? So US and Iran, Israel, both have crossed all the boundaries, right? They are doing whatever best they can do. And that's why they have targeted a ship which was actually should not be as a part of that war zone. But as we always say, the situation, geopolitical situation is continuously deteriorating. And I feel, US is trying to play a role where they just want to dominate everything, right? It's what they have done in Venezuela, that was also not right from the ethical point of view. But they have just done this. So the way it is happening, that I will do my step, I will take my step, and the sensitivity around other nation is diminishing. Right. So from a nation perspective, we need to be very clear that for us, nation comes first always, and we will keep our interest in mind. And I think Mr. Rajnath also mentioned it, that this situation is going to deteriorate further as we move on. But we need to ensure that our interests are being kept in the first thing. And situation was bad. This should not happen, but legally, they were not into India's economic zone or Indian nautical miles, 12 nautical mile. It was done in Sri Lanka economic zone, which was 370 kilometers away from us, and we were not asked for the help. So I'm saying India cannot be blamed for this, definitely for this incident, but from the US perspective, I will definitely call this was not a right and ethical step and should not have been done.
Okay. Lieutenant General Kulkarni, now, as Captain Saxena mentioned that it was morally and ethically wrong what the United States of America really did. But questions, of course, are being raised on this entire operation also. Because remember, the operation started within just like a few hours of the Geneva talks, and the kind of statements that have come from US President Donald Trump himself. He's spoken of how he felt there was a threat to his life, and the kind of statements that he has really made, and the kind of flip-flops in his ambitions, in his goals from this war that we have also seen coming in. So who's really going to tell him, and will he even listen to anybody, what is morally and ethically right and what should be done? Given these circumstances, what is it that India can do? Are we in the right direction with the kind of statements that India has made so far?
See, first and foremost, we have to see the American president has been again and again saying that he was threatened, that had they not attacked, the Iranians would have attacked. Now, if you look into a little perspective, you do notice that the very fact that Iran has been able to stand up to the military might of both the Americans as also the Israelis is indicative that the Iranians were prepared to what was coming their way. So all this that Iran wasn't aware of what's coming in, Iran was. Very fact that it's almost a week now, that they can fire missiles, they can almost put all the American bases on the back foot in the Middle East. They're putting billions of dollars of losses to the Israelis, is indicative that Iran is at it. Now that they are at war, now that the things are happening, obviously the Iranians also now feel the heat, and that heat is being felt because the Americans want that the entire oceans they must be running and be the control of the oceans, and therefore sinking of the naval ships of Iran, ensuring air supremacy across the Iranian airspace, ensuring that the missiles and the drones that the Iranians can't fire at them, all this. And if America is unable to do so and has total domination on Iran in the next about a week or so, then America gets on the back foot. So at this point of time, well, all these kind of things that my life was threatened, that can always be a prelude to whatever would be said. But yes, there is no denying the fact that the talks were on, that probably there were feelings from Iran, but then Iran again was only willing to compromise on the nuclear part, but not on the missiles part. because of the missiles, and also not on the equipping and training and funding the major three terrorist organizations besides the Iraqis, the Hamas, the Hezbollah, the Houthis. So Iran also needs to introspect. America also has gone wrong morally, ethically, and obviously Americans also can't do what they're doing of stating might is right, but Iranians also couldn't be doing, ensuring that the world, that they would wipe out Israel from the map of the world. I think all these talks also sound a little bit, not, and you see all over in Iran also, that we will wipe out Israel in 25 years, is something which should not be said by a civilization as old as Iran, which we respect.
Okay, stay on with us, gentlemen. Let's once again listen in to what Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had to say.
क्योंकि जो देश अपने इतिहास से इंस्पायर होता है, प्रेरणा लेता है, वही भविष्य को पूरे कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ गढ़ने का काम करता है। आप देखिए कि आज मैरीटाइम डोमेन पहले के कंपैरिजन में काफी बदल चुका है। आज के समय में मैरीटाइम डोमेन केवल ट्रेड रूट्स या नेवल स्ट्रेंथ तक सीमित नहीं रह गया है, बल्कि यह नेशनल रेजिलियंस, इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ, टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशन और स्ट्रेटेजिक ऑटोनॉमी का मेजर फाउंडेशन बन चुका है। बदलती ग्लोबल जियोपॉलिटिक्स के इस दौर में ओशंस एक बार फिर विश्व की पावर बैलेंस के सेंटर में आ गए हैं। ऐसे समय में एक मेजर मैरीटाइम नेशन के रूप में भारत का यह दायित्व है कि वह कॉन्फिडेंस, कैपेबिलिटी और क्लियर विजन के साथ लीडरशिप प्रदान करे। आज हम सब एक बड़े परिवर्तन के दौर से गुजर रहे हैं। ग्लोबल लेवल पर तेजी से नई परिस्थितियां दिखाई दे रही हैं। सप्लाई चेन रीअलाइन हो रहे हैं। एनर्जी पाथवेज को लेकर नए इक्वेशंस भी बन रहे हैं और मैरीटाइम डोमेन में गतिविधियां लगातार तेजी से बढ़ रही हैं। पहले समुद्र को केवल ट्रेड का माध्यम माना जाता था, लेकिन आज हम स्पष्ट रूप से देख रहे हैं कि समुद्र स्ट्रेटेजिक डोमिनेंस का भी केंद्र बनता जा रहा है। दुनिया बदल रही है और पुराने नोशंस टूट रहे हैं और यह बात हम पिछले कई वर्षों से लगातार देख रहे हैं। जो अलग अलग फ्लैश पॉइंट्स और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स दुनिया में दिखाई दे रहे हैं, वे ऊपर ऊपर से भले ही आपस में जुड़े हुए नजर आते हों, हर ज्योग्राफिकल और रीजनल स्थिति की अपनी अलग अलग बैकग्राउंड और अपनी अलग अलग कहानी है। फिर भी अगर गौर से देखें तो एक कॉमन बात हमको दिखाई देती है। आज ग्लोबल लेवल पर हमेशा कुछ नया हो रहा है, एक परिवर्तन चल रहा है। पुराने विचार, पुराने ग्लोबल ऑर्डर, पुरानी बिलीफ्स तेजी से बदल रही हैं और यही वह अनसर्टेनिटीज हैं जिन्हें हमें समझना होगा। और अभी चल रही मिडिल ईस्ट की स्थिति इसका मैं मानता हूं कि एक ज्वलंत उदाहरण है। आज जो वहां हो रहा है वह बहुत ही असामान्य है। आगे चलकर मिडिल ईस्ट में या हमारे पड़ोस में परिस्थितियां किस दिशा में जाएंगी, इस पर अभी कोई कॉन्क्रीट प्रेडिक्शन करना कठिन है। यदि हम स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मुज या पूरे पर्शियन गल्फ क्षेत्र को देखें तो यह विश्व की एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी का एक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण क्षेत्र है। जब इस क्षेत्र में डिस्टर्बेंस या डिसरप्शन होता है तो उसका सीधा असर ऑयल और गैस की सप्लाई पर पड़ता है। यही नहीं, आज हम सप्लाई चेन डिसरप्शन केवल ऊर्जा क्षेत्र में ही नहीं बल्कि अन्य क्षेत्रों में भी देख रहे हैं।
So an important statement also coming in from the Defence Minister on how India is keeping a close eye on what's really happening in the Middle East, and in fact India is still in a wait and watch mode because as of now India looks quite comfortable as far as its crude and gas stock is concerned. Let me go back to my guests who continue to be with us at this point in time. Captain Akhilesh Saxena. Now, we also got this news from, United States of America today that India has been allowed a 30-day waiver to actually purchase Russian oil. Remember earlier, India was penalized for buying Russian oil, and now, given how the situation is, given how Iran has reacted, how there is disruption around the Strait of Hormuz, now India is being allowed. How do you see that, with what the Raksha Mantri said today?
So first, coming on to Raksha Mantri, very important that geopolitical situation is changing very, very fast. And the impact will definitely come on to India. If we really see the strategy from Iran, now they are also targeting the energy infrastructure. They have clearly said that Strait of Hormuz is closed. And obviously, whatever US can say that, we will ensure, we'll patrol the ship, but no ship will take the chance, right? Because it is touching the border of Iran. So that energy infrastructure is major impact, and that is also they are impacting on the global economy. Coming on to the very important statement which US made that, we allow India to take oil from Russia. I call it like, America is behaving like a global sarpanch, right? They are thinking they will keep dictating everyone, though nobody is asking. May I ask if India has asked for this permission from US that can we take the oil from Russia, or can we increase our supply from Russia? No one has asked. So it's a self-proclaimed sarpanch of the global stage that I will allow and what we will do. So I think, you have seen many times starting from Op Sindoor, where Trump has openly come and say, I stopped the war. Nobody had asked him. So, it's I just dismiss as a self-proclaimed statement. It is India interest, and only India will decide. And we are a sovereign, independent and powerful nation. Nobody can dictate our terms to us when to do whatever thing. And we clearly say our policy is bilateral relation, right? Our relation from one country will not impact another relation to other country.
Right.
So it's India who is deciding that since now there is a issue in Iran supply, we will take more oil from Russia. And in terms of time, what they are saying, we have allowed 1 month and all. We have never asked you.
Well, absolutely. And officially, India never said anything about either reducing the purchase of oil from Russia or increasing it, even though US President Donald Trump, when he announced that there's going to be a deal with India, he said that India has given a commitment, but India never said anything on that particular aspect. I know Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni also wants to respond, but I have to slip into a very, very short break right now. We'll be back with lots more on this story. Viewers, don't go anywhere.